What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. We are here for round 3, the end of it here. As I told you, wild night for me already, just trying to cram everything together, pure madness. But we talked in the second round, a lot of great picks. Eagles make a great pick in Andrew Makuba. Very excited there. Watching a lot of players I really enjoy going off the board here to a lot of these teams here. And that's okay because there's a lot of talent still left. I just saw Savion Williams going to the Packers. Man, Golden and Savion Williams. It's pretty good with Jaden Reed, Doubs. We'll see if Christian Watson, but that's pretty wild. But I appreciate you guys that are taking the time here at the end of this third round, getting ready for the Eagles to make that third selection. We'll see if they stay there at 96 or want to move around, whatever they decide to do. We'll be here for it. And, there are definitely some good players left available here. And, by the way, one thing I did want to mention, I saw the Giants took Darius Alexander right when I was done. I was like, you mother, I will beat their ass. But we could go offensive line here, man. We talked about Charles Grant, Jared Wilson. You got, a bunch of talent at receiver and corner and some edge guys that I would probably wait on. Maybe Gunnar Helm here. I really like that tight end out of Texas. But Quincy Riley, the cornerback out of Louisville, that's another one I think the Eagles could definitely take a look at. There's a plethora of talent. Marcus Mbo is there, the guard / tackle there. I think either way, I'm trusting in what Howie's doing here. And hopefully you were able to be part of the live stream. If not, put a video out on Makuba. We already talked about him during the top fits. He was one of my top fits at safety for the Eagles. And I think really excited for his versatility to be part of this defense. So we'll recap everything. Tomorrow I'll have a show before the draft starts. Don't work. So I will be making a best available video, and we'll be talking about what we think the Eagles will do with that fourth and those 3 fifth-round picks. If they want to trade, do some things, move around, whatever it is. We'll talk about all of it here tonight. Liz back in the building. And look, I appreciate those of you coming back for a second round here because it's been a long one these last couple of days. We know how the draft goes. You get so excited for it, and then it comes, and you're like, okay, anytime. And when you're the Super Bowl champions, well, you kind of got to wait a little bit longer. So it is what it is. We'll stay patient. We'll hope that the Eagles make a great pick here. But Texans getting Jalen Noel, Jalen Hyatt, I think, too. Some real crazy picks. Jags getting Caleb Ransall. We'll see what they do with Travis Hunter, receiver, corner. We'll see. Either way, but that was a good pick by them. We talked about him as one of those guys that I feel could be a higher pick than what I was seeing out there. But obviously the Jaguars felt that same way, and they're doing some work over there in Jacksonville. So good for them. But appreciate you, John, tuning back in with us. Jackson, my man. And we talked about Charles Grant just a second ago. And I was talking about him earlier today. That's a guy that I think, they visited with him and he fits what you're trying to do here. Could compete at guard, has the ability to play tackle, goes to William and Mary. So maybe a little slept on there. But I think a bright future, and he could be another steal of a pick. And, you always want to keep your eyes on the offensive and defensive line with the Eagles here. And, there's definitely, again, some guys I think that are available that you could, see a bright future for, and Charles Grant being one of them. A lot of the linemen like Marcus and Bo that we talked about. But then there's later in the draft where you got guys like Jackson Slater, Rivers from Miami. I think there's definitely possibilities here. Jared Wilson is still there, the center from Georgia, but you could wait and get a guy like Drew Kendall later in the draft if you're looking for center depth, whatever it may be. But I'm with you 100%, Jackson. Charles Grant is a name I think definitely could be on the Philadelphia Eagles there. And, dude, going to the Commanders, boo. But, Makuba was one of my top hits. I'm a big fan. No, you're all good, brother. Appreciate you taking the time. And, I think, Charles Grant would be a good pick here. And, again, there are corners available like Quincy Riley, tight ends like Gunnar Helm. So whatever you're looking for here, I think that the Eagles have the opportunity to add somebody of value. Ty Robinson, Deion Walker, I like Tonka Hemingway, but one of the names we talked about at D tackle, I think he was kind of slept on, but I'm not sure NFL teams will sleep until tomorrow on him. I think Aeneas Peebles is someone that would be a really intriguing off the wall kind of pick for the Eagles, but I think somebody that was one he would think was my top fit right at interior lineman. Just talking about and during those series, if you haven't watched them, I talk about like where I think the Eagles will take that position. I try to just map it out how I see things going in the draft and what I think the Eagles, who they like, all that great stuff. But I think People's just one of those guys. He's a little undersized in whatever opinion out there, but I think he's a little ball of fury, man. I love the kid. I think he's awesome. He's vicious when he plays, and you wouldn't even notice his size. I promise you. But he just, again, that size, his size, his arm length. It's something that people, and that's why you will fall. But you find diamonds in the rough that way. So lot of talent on offensive, defensive side of the ball here. And Deion Walker, I just briefly, skimmed by him, mentioning him because I like Deion. I do. But I think Aeneas Peebles for me is the kind of pick I'm taking. And that's just kind of how I see, things fitting with this draft. Man, we're coming up here. But, I think Deion Walker is somebody, he's just, we have Jordan Davis, right? So like there's these talented players. There were a couple that were drafted where they're just nose tackles, and we do need depth there. And you will see what they decide with the 5th-year option of Jordan Davis. Maybe he wants to try to, get a contract, or they give him the opportunity. I don't know. But regardless, I don't know that you spend a pick on a nose tackle right here where, dude's a monster. And he's good. Whoever gets him is getting a great pick. But I think for me, I'm looking elsewhere. It's best player available. If that's how they feel, then maybe they make that move and we don't know what's going on. I like Jordan Davis. I think he does what he's supposed to. He's a run stopper, 2-gap monster. He doesn't fill out the stat sheet because that's not his job. He allows other people to do that. So helps us against the run. I love Jordan Davis. I think, I'm good with him. So best of luck to Deion. But I think, in my opinion, not sure we go that route. Love you too, brother. Jeff, appreciate you tuning in, man. And look, we're going to break down this last pick of the day. And then tomorrow, as I told you, we'll break down some stuff, talk about some things. I'll go live when I can. We'll break down picks, all that stuff. Be having a good old time, and I don't have to work. Thank you, dear Lord. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, People's a beast, man. And, for me, you kind of have Jordan Davis, so that's why I say that. It's not that I don't like him or feel that it would work here, but I think Peebles is someone that does a lot more than I think people give him credit, and I think he has the ability to do more. He's somebody I'm just a fan of his game, and it's one of those people that we talk about when we get to this part of the draft. He's more kind of around like that Milton Williams size, right? And they'll call that undersized, but I've seen him listed 6 foot, 6'1". I just think, to me, he's one of those slept on prospects. Just like when we talked about Milton Williams and then we drafted him. You remember that, right? And what a stud. So, he's just not on that level. Don't get me wrong. Let me backtrack for a second. He's not Milton Williams. I don't think, he has that pass rushing ability just yet, but it's something to look at and see that he has the ability to do. I just think that he's a beast, man. He's a disruptive force, and that's what I'm looking for here, man. And it doesn't have to be that pick. I was just mentioning while we were talking about defensive tackles. I like Peoples, but I think I had him 3rd, 4th round grade, something like that. I'm trying to remember, but I like him. I do. I like him a lot. Let me see. I'm missing a lot of stuff here. So Jalen Milroe goes to the Seahawks. No crap. Emory Jones to the Ravens. Getting themselves some line help. Okay, we're coming up here in a few, ladies and gentlemen. Who are you guys hoping for? You're hearing me talk about it. I see a couple of you mentioning some names. So you agree with the Charles Grant. I think for me, still a lot of talent, and not just here with this pick. I think that there is a lot of talent in these later rounds, and we're going to see that here tomorrow. But right now you've got a chance to add somebody. I think you could definitely make an impact. So, hey man, tune in tomorrow. I always love day 3, man. You can find diamonds in the rough, and that to me is how you win drafts. You can always have good picks. There's good players in the first. It's finding these guys, later. So, yeah, man, we only have 2 picks. So, and I don't listen to those people. I don't know how people do it, bro. Best of luck to them, though. Jared Ivey, feel like Grandma. Well, we talked about what we've added in the free agency period. I think we definitely could still add, to the line. It's just, to me, I feel pretty comfortable. Like we've already drafted and signed players that I think are meant to replace some of these players and what we have and what we do. So I don't really think we need to, need to go anywhere. That's what I keep saying because that's just how this draft works. There's no real, oh, we have to do this. It's best player available, man. And that's how it's always going to be. So I think we'll take that best player. And to me, I've mentioned a few, but it could be anybody, dude. And I've seen a lot of people talking Shador Sanders and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I think they're pretty set with Jalen Hurts, but maybe, you develop them and try to trade them. I don't know. Let the Eagles do that, but you never know. You never know. We talked about Jared Wilson, Gunnar Helm. Dude, I told you, Gunnar Helm was one of my favorite tight ends in this draft, dude. I would really like that one. I think that would be something that with Harrison Bryant and Kylan Granson, if you let go of Goddard for whatever reason, I would let him play out the last year, get something in the compensatory pick the following year. But if someone offers something that you really like, we're in the 3rd round now. I don't know, man, that I want to get rid of them. I don't know. I don't know. So know who left gets me excited. Well, that's that point where, why I make these other shows. Because I know, we talk about how, the media and people will only talk about the first couple rounds and then no one has any idea about anyone else in the draft. So that's why I make, those videos on every single position in the draft and talk about all the players, in each of the rounds that I think they're going in, and then talk about the top fits just to try to give you an idea. And I can't go in depth with every single player, but that's why I try to pinpoint some of these guys to try to keep you excited. But I know, man, there's a lot of people out there. It's hard to keep up with all that stuff. And, for me, I have a lot of names that are still part of my top fits that come later in the draft. So I'm excited. We got Jahad Campbell and Andrew McCuba so far. So we're off to a great start. We'll see how, these next few picks go. But I'm pumped up. I am. And I think, Gunnar would be a great pick. Gunnar Helm is somebody we talked about that a bright future. I understand they want to knock him for this, that, the other thing. But I thought, to me, he was one of the better prospects in this draft, right? So if you feel, and my point was to take a tight end around this area, regardless of if you trade Dallas Goedert, because I'd like him to be here to help grow and elevate the game of whoever this person is, that we draft, and hopefully. But this kid, to me, is somebody that we kind of, need a Dallas Goedert. You need more blocking. I think he definitely needs to work on that. But dude, his receiving game, that is where I like this kid, and I like him a lot. And I think, not a fast 40 time. That's why I thought he would drop a little bit. He's not going to jump off the page, but he's reliable, dude. He's got great hands. And I think for Jalen Hurts, he's not always looking. We run a lot. And, when you are passing, you have great receivers, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson's here. But tight end isn't always, necessary when you have Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, this offensive line. But a guy like him with those short hands when called upon and after the catch, I think he does some great things. I like Gunnar Helm a lot, man. I think that's, he's one of my top fits for a reason. And, there's no position where I feel like you need to do this, you have to do this. But I just think getting someone like him might be your best player available because, he is that receiving type guy. He does catch the ball well, run routes well. He is a good tight end, man. And I don't care about what the PFF or the height or the weight or the 40 time or people, and sometimes, you have to factor all that stuff. But some people emphasize that stuff and get a little out of control with that stuff a little too much. So it is what it is. And yeah, Jalen Milroe is drafted, get his talent. Still on Jaden Blue. I like Jaden Blue. We'll see, what backs are available at the end of the draft. Maybe we take someone, but with Shipley here behind Saquon and bringing in AJ Dillon, that's great. You got Terry and Davis Price here to compete as well, but I'm not against, adding anyone. You never can have too much of something, and if, a young guy wants to beat someone like AJ Dillon out, so be it. But I really think that you could really take a lot of players here. Charles Grant, Gunnar Helm, Quincy Riley. I think a lot of options, Peebles that I'd be pretty pumped about. But, dude, so I think you were talking about Gunnar Helm. Yes, I think he has a lot of talent. So let's Evan go here. Let's Evan go. So let me take a gander. Caleb Johnson there. That was a good pick for them, I think. Steelers there getting Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. Kind of just seems like a Steelers running back with that tough running. So good for them. Let's see. Why are you doing this to me? Don't tell me Plu Victo or whatever you're sack bagging me with. So Sanker went to the Saints. It's a good safety for him. I missed the Rams getting Stuart Millum to the Jags right after they took Rams. So yeah, Jacob Parrish to the Bucks, man. Those son of a bitches. They got Morrison and Parrish. Some good corners for the future. Winston to the Titans. Really, Vrabel's doing some things over there. Princely, Emmanuel, or however you say it. Bro, I totally forgot Siobhan Rivell to the Cowboys. Don't like that. Lynn Jackson to the Bills. Mother. Kyle Williams to the Patriots. That's Darren Porter to the Raiders. Yeah. So when I was gone, Jalot, how I felt about Jalot. And what did I say about Jalot? Don't be surprised if he does go before Landon Jackson because I really like both of them. But those are projects that you could definitely take early and just be excited about. And, I think a good pick for the Chiefs. Those son of a bitches getting Jalot there. And the Bills getting Landon Jackson. Those mother. So, F you. Fannin went to the Browns. So, Helms, the guy I'm looking for there at tight end. Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback from Oregon, now off the board. So, Shedeur Sanders still there. But Browns going for a quarterback. And, wow. So, Dylan Gabriel, that's an interesting one. So the Patriots pick, and then we're up. So who are you guys thinking? Who are you thinking? I've obviously mentioned who I feel would be good picks. There's definitely other ones. We'll see if it's anyone we've talked about in depth or what's going to happen here. Oh, man. Long week. I'll tell you that. Actually, it's been a long month, to be real with you. All the birthdays and insanity with Easter. Lord help me. So, Eagles are trading out. Oh, remember when I said that earlier. Shouldn't even have joked like that. I come back to make this, and they did. We'll see if they're acquiring more picks for those later rounds. We talked about that. I think Howie would be smart to do that because there are some damn good picks back there. So we'll see how far we move back. We're still in the third, or what the plan is here. But we'll find out. Move down to 101. Okay. So that would be the Atlanta Falcons, right? We'll see what the details are in a second here. So now we got to wait a little bit more. Those son of a... Damn you, Eagles. So we go back 5 picks. Yeah. All right. Oh, Eagles, you little shenanigans. So, give me a second and I will look again. Here we go. So we got another fifth rounder, but it's for next year. So, okay. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Got these done. All right, so yeah, so we traded pick 96 and we got 101 and a fifth rounder. Trying to get this stuff posted here. Come on. Mm-hmm. Okay. What's up, ATL? I see you. Real quick, I want to introduce my son, Jonah. I appreciate you being here with me tonight, buddy. We got a trade. The Philadelphia Eagles have traded the 96 pick to the Atlanta Falcons. With a 96 pick in the 2025 draft, Oh, who got? Oh, the Falcons moved up for Xavier Watts. You know, I liked him too, but I think Makuba is a great pick. Great pick either way. But how he doing? Oh, how he's doing how he does. Acquiring more picks, moving back. Clearly, you just heard me talk about a bunch of players that I think are really good that are available. So that's how they feel. And they feel moving back those 5 spots, they can still acquire someone that will be of value to them. Again, I'm going to trust in what Howie's doing. Move back 5, get an extra pick next year. Why not? You got rid of one of your 5ths, this year. So why not make up for that with, what we're doing? So I like it a lot. Right. So we're almost up again here. Son of a bitch. Texans, okay. Oh, Jalen Smith, the Texans, that's a good pick. What are you guys wanting here, folks? Let me know. I'm in the zone here. Shit. If this thing would hurry. I guess Howie. You guess Howie what? That's just a normal thing. I wouldn't be upset about him getting another pick. That is a good thing. Alright, so who are we taking? Yeah, Brandon, I agree. I think Makuba is really a stud because it's not just that like he could beat out City Brown. I talked about with adding someone like he or some of the other guys like Starks and Watts and these versatile defensive backs that more so like Starks and Makuba that can play nickel, can play safety and all over the place, man. So it's a good thing in Vic Fangio's defense to have versatility. So I think they're doing what needs to be done here. I am just trying to be prepared here. I don't know how I feel about it. Alrighty, Eagles. We ready? I'm ready. I don't know about you guys. I knew they were going to do. I thought they would trade out, maybe really piss us off and not have anybody. to pick today, but obviously we already made one pick, but you get what I'm saying. Really? Oh my god. I hope they make a good damn pick here. I think I would like that. Oh my gosh. Please, please, God, let's go. I'm going to swear from Ohio State. Well, wouldn't be against having him. He's a big dude, and I think, he's pretty good against the run. Good edge rusher. I think he did pretty well for Ohio State there. Wasn't one of my top fits. I think there's some other guys out there that I really like. He is good. I think I had him rated higher than some of these guys that are left, or were already taken. But I think I just didn't have him. I can only pick so many of my top fits, but I like him, dude. He's got a high motor. One of those players I think would fit right in. So wouldn't be against that at all, my friend. But you still got David Walker. I think very intriguing. Another kind of, but that's like the same thing as Jihad Campbell. He's still out there, man. Still a lot of really good players available. So we'll see what the Eagles are up to here. But now we're gonna have 12 picks next year. If adding that fifth rounder, and getting projected three compensatory picks there. So 12 picks next year. But when I say that this team is building a dynasty, this is what I'm talking about. They're not only a foundation to win Super Bowls, which we just did, but as I told you last year, they're building that foundation to conquer the NFL. And they're just doing that so far with these first two picks by solidifying young men that you never know how things are going to pan out, but you're ensuring that you're getting, guys that fit what you're doing perfectly. Makuba and Jihad Campbell fit perfectly into the Vic Fangio defense. That's why we talk about them, highly. And I think that, you're going to see how awesome they are and a bright future for this defense. We'll see, though. I think this line, offensive or defensive, could definitely be added to. So whether that's Sawyer or someone like a Peebles in the middle, we'll see, man. I like Quincy Riley at corner. If we're still looking at corners, there's corners that are further down that I think you could take. You don't have to. If you like Kaylee Ringo or you think Adoree Jackson can push Kaylee and may the best man win with Eli Ricks, I don't know. But yeah, man, safety, you can still sign Justin Simmons if you want a veteran there. But I feel pretty confident with what we've got here right now. Raiders take Caleb Rogers, so we're almost finally picking here, ladies and gentlemen. Catch's mom, I appreciate you tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the little break there. I've been back for a little while here, but I'll roll out after this pick. I'll make a breakdown video of the player, and then I'll talk to you guys tomorrow again. We'll have ourselves, a good time. But yeah, I was just mentioning there, those bastards took Charles Grant, so it is what it is, man. A lot of great picks. And again, I would not be against adding like Gunnar Helm here. Yeah, like we talked about pre-draft, I don't care about his 40 time. I don't care about anything like that, dude. I think Gunnar Helm, he's got those short hands. Needs to work on his blocking, but he's a red zone threat. He's a young man, dude. Like he's gonna develop, and I think, he's perfect for what we talk about in this offense. To just be that reliable tight end, that red zone threat. You brought in Harrison Bryant, brought in Kylan Granson. You have Calcaterra, EJ Jenkins. If Dallas Goedert's here to, help him develop and teach him learning under him would be great, like Goddard did with Ertz. But we'll see, man. We'll see. But still a lot of good players. And Bo's there on the offensive line. If you're still looking, that was one of my top fits. I think would be another guy that could play guard, could possibly help with tackle. So Stoutland could do wonders with a lot of players, even further down in the draft. So we'll see. See what they decide to do here in a second. Oh, come on. They just had to trade all the way to the end. Second to last pick. Just had to do it, didn't they? But we got to wait for the Niners here. And then we'll be up. So we'll see who the Eagles take. Broncos trade with the... Pretty sure we just traded out of that pick. And we're not making a pick tonight. So, yes, we are. We're moving back, guys. We got another trade. Mother. So, I will not be making a breakdown video after this. This is the final video here of the night. And I can't say I'm against that. It's been a long couple of days, and I will be back tomorrow. But let me get these trade details to you first before I bounce. I will show you here in a second what's going down there with our birds. Making a trade with the Denver Broncos. So, let me take that. All right. So, we traded 101 and 134 and got 111, 130, and 191. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to screenshot that for a second because what? So, yeah, the Eagles went ahead and did not pick. Huh. Well, so 111, 130, 191. Son of a bitch. All right, so 130, 191. Yeah. 101. And 134. So tomorrow on the show, I'll have a recap of what picks we have and what's going on there and everything like that. So we get 3 picks now. Ugh. Why are you taking forever? Well, okay. So that is the trade. And yeah, they're just magical little beings giving that 101 away. But yeah, I think look, you can go watch those videos on all the positions. You can see where I have certain guys. I think there's a lot, and tomorrow I'll be back with just everything you need to know when it comes to best available at each position and what rounds I see people, all that great stuff. But yeah, we'll get through tomorrow. 111, so 130. 191. Distribution. Okay. All right, guys. So, how are you feeling? I know some people are going to be a little upset about that, but I think honestly, tomorrow, obviously, we got a couple of picks now, so that makes me happy. We'll be the 9th pick tomorrow, and then also the 28th pick in the 4th round with 111 and 130. So that's cool. Not having to wait too long there, and maybe Howie wants to trade up. But then in the 5th round, we have pick 25, which is that 161, and then 165, and then 168. So, yeah, 3 5th rounders. But wait, 130, 191. So then we'll get that 6th round pick is 191. No, 101 and the 5th rounder was the last trade. That was the Falcons one. We're talking about the Broncos one that just happened. So you get that 6th rounder that we talked about. We acquired one of those picks, so now we have 2 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, and then a 6th round pick tomorrow. So, oh yeah, we got some ammo. We got 6 picks tomorrow. Tune in. It's going to be a wild live stream. We'll be going through all the best available. I'll keep you up to date with that tracker. We'll look at every position. We'll talk about the picks that are made. Dude, there's a lot of talent left, and we talked about this. People are going to fall, and I've got a lot of players I'm really excited about. So I'll give you my top fits for tomorrow. Love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. You're watching this later. You want to give your thoughts, but no breakdown here, obviously, because the Eagles are not making a pick here. But Savion Jones to the Broncos and Ty Felton, Maryland receiver, to the Vikings there to end it. So that's all I've got for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Had a good time hanging out with you. Thanks for tuning in for part 2 here. Go check out the breakdown on Makuba or Jahad Campbell. Very excited about those first 2 picks. We talked about possibly trading these picks, acquiring ones in the back end, acquiring future picks. That's what we're doing. We're building a foundation, a dynasty here. I promise you, Howie knows what he's doing. Don't listen to the media. I know there's going to be, they didn't take this player. Dude, we're the 9th pick tomorrow. So they felt comfortable getting that done. And then I think the 25th or whatever. So you got 2 picks in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. And expect some action. Howie trading back, trading up, all that great stuff. It's coming your way. I'll see you tomorrow, though. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, hit that like button, share this bad boy, subscribe. But I hope to see you guys tomorrow. We'll recap this draft then afterwards. I will do my best to show you the updated depth charts, the cap space, all that stuff you need to know, getting you ready for this sicko season. We're in it right now, but there's that lull, and I promise you I got enough information to cover you. But all I've got for you tonight, have yourselves a great rest of your night. Until next time. I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, say it with me now, go Birds!